The Democratic debates are gearing up to be an absolute disaster, and I, for one, cannot wait to see the field implode en masse when the DNC tries to implement trophy face-offs. The field could swell to an unimaginable and boring 23 candidates in short order, though there is only room for 10 candidates per night in 2-night bursts, and that means some donkeys are going to look like jackasses and get hurt fee-fees when they get booted off the stage before they even get there. Republicans pioneered the crowded field mouth fights in 2016 when they had to relegate the loser half to the kiddie table in lesser watched pre-debates before the big show. Democrats have to be more limp and diplomatic. So they're going to draw names out of a big dumb hat to see who makes the dais on either night. If they get a bad draw, John Delaney could be slugging it out with Jay Inslee and Tim Ryan on night one. And no one in their right mind will tune in to see the next night when Joe Biden levels Bernie Sanders with a geriatric haymaker on his way to destroying Kamala Harris on rebuttal. Everyone has to have a whack at the progressive piñata because Democrats are very defensive about insinuations they tinkered with the debate schedule in Hillary's favor last time around. And the criteria for making it to this idiot fest, it is so silly. You either have to have 1%, just 1%, talk about political inequality in 3 public polls, or have 65,000 unique donations in 20 states. By that methodology, anyone can qualify, and everyone thinks they can beat Trump. So until they start getting real and elevating actual candidates, it's going to be a phony, baloney, donkey and pony show where everyone gets a participation medal and no one gives a damn because they will have all wasted their time on a bloated, mediocre field. If the Democrats are serious about picking a winner, they have picked the worst way to seriously narrow the field, and shame on them, and that's the memo. Boom. There are going to be a dozen debates in total, so the DNC is going to have a hard time whittling down this mediocre field. How is anyone going to be able to stand out in such an average crowd? Joining me now, GOP pollster and CEO of WPA Intelligence, Chris Wilson, is back. Welcome back, Chris.
Thanks, Kennedy. Nice. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about this. Have the Democrats picked the wrong criteria for this massive field of candidates?
Well, it's tough to add much to what you said, but there's no question that what they've done here is painted themselves into a real corner. I mean, when it gets down to it, they really have one leading candidate in Joe Biden. They have sort of a protest candidate. For those people who don't like Biden, they can vote for Bernie Sanders. And they have 3 or 4 people who could actually probably win the nomination if they caught fire. And then after that, you've got, another 67 or so also-ran types. And it
like
is,
Lincoln
I mean,
Chafee and Martin O'Malley. I hope they get in.
Well, hey, today I sent $1 to some guy who promised that if he raised $65,000, he'd just stand up on the stage and every time they called him, yell, "You guys are a bunch of idiots." So I'm like, that's the best dollar I've ever spent.
What is his name? I'm going to encourage everyone to donate to his campaign. That's fantastic.
I was trying to find it before I came on. I forgot. Yeah, I sent him a buck and forgot all about it. It's
great.
Like Venmo'd it to him. But he said he'd give it back if he didn't make it. Maybe I'm the idiot here. But, I went through this in 2016 with the Republican presidential campaign, and we were really stressed for a while in terms of making that percentage. But it was a much more systematic percentage in that you knew who was going to make the main stage well in advance, and you kind of knew who was catching fire.
Why are Democrats scared of that?
Off.
I mean, that's a pretty simple Florida.
It is.
Pretty simple formula, not Florida. Too many people eating bath salts.
Florida man could make the debate stage with the Democrats too.
Even low energy Jeff
it's sort of. Yeah, he could. He was the front runner for a while. It's kind of this woke hipster approach to everything. It's like they put AOC in charge of the debate stage. She wrote the Green New Deal. Let's get rid of cows. Let's write the debate stage. Maybe we get rid of our front runner by putting him on the stage with Tulsi Gabbard or Eric Swalwell, who just yells about guns the whole time. I mean, it really is from a standpoint of trying to put together a system to elect a nominee about the worst possible design that could have been imagined. And so it's, only the Democrats
So did they
can come
not
up with
learn
it, right?
anything? It seems as though they didn't learn anything from their own debate debacle in 2016 or from the Republican model.
It's kind of an overcorrection. I would argue the Republican model actually worked pretty well. We didn't win, but, we got pretty far down the road in the process.
Because you were working with Ted Cruz, and you were the last
debater.
couple of fellas standing. Some would say he was a master debater.
He was, and I will tell you, one of the things that really hurt Donald Trump in that primary was right before Iowa. You may remember he decided not to participate in that last debate leading into the Iowa caucus, which I think gave us momentum moving into that. And so it's those kind of decisions that really have an impact when you're going through this. And whenever you're splitting up the stage, you're going to allow everybody who can raise $65,000 or hit 1% of the polls to make it onto the stage. We just seriously, you could be in a situation because of my friend I spent $1 or $2 today, I can't remember his name. You could have 30 people making it on the stage.
I do. I hope it's like a 3-night dum-dum fest. Yeah, Bill de Blasio's going to get in. Everyone's going to get in. And it's so funny to me because there are so few candidates actually gaining traction who are pretty nationally prominent. Like Cory Booker has, low single digits. And people like Bill de Blasio going, yeah, you know what? I might get him. It might be the time. I'm a big dumb giraffe, man. Your thoughts?
And you have a lot of the ones who could be serious candidates starting to slip down the road. But I'll tell you what also gets pathetic about it is when you look at serious political figures like Kirsten Gillibrand playing beer pong to try and get it.
That's a great point. I mean, the stunts that they're polling to meet this criteria, it is very undignified.
It's belittling for the office that they are seeking.
Exactly.
That's what the Democrats have caused.
And that's coming from the nation's most serious newscaster, Chris Wallace.
Right, there we go.
Sure, yeah. Chris Wilson, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kennedy.
Always good to talk to you.